This first episode is dedicated to a friend. He's like a father. He's more. He's more than that. It's dedicated to him because something happened in my life where I needed him and I pushed him away really, really hard. So up until meeting Andre, my story about not having my dad be there. There was no confidence building from my dad. There was no support emotionally from my dad. It was none of that. So I've always had this gap or this hole where I felt like I needed a man or a father figure to help me. And along my life, I did have some people who chipped in and helped out. But I met Andre about, say, a year ago. Met him about a year ago. He's a pastor of an amazing church. Met him and he asked could he meet with me. And I'm thinking, all right, what does this guy want to meet about? Does he know that I play the piano or something like that? I'm just shooting off all these type of ideas in my head. And he ends up meeting with me. We meet for breakfast. And first time I saw, he put his phone away. He put everything away, and he was like, I just wanted to learn who you are. And I'm like, all right, this can't be true. He must need something or want something. What does he need from me? But he puts his phone away. We order food. We're eating. We're talking. And I'm telling him stuff. I'm talking. He's talking. But I'm still hiding. I'm just like, I don't know what this man wants. For those who do not know, Andre is Caucasian. I'm black. So a little bit of tension there of what could he want, and so forth. So we talk, and he gives me this challenge. He goes, Drew, would you read this book with me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll read the book. And the book started digging into me as a leader, and it started challenging me so much that I got nervous of the book because I was like, I'm not ready to be a leader in a bigger way. I can lead people in fitness, I can do that, but I'm not ready to be a leader in a deeper way. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better husband, but I don't know if I want to be a leader in a different way. So I read the book, did the homework, and me and Andre met again. And this time we went over some of my questions in the book. And again, he puts his phone away. He's attentive. He's listening. He's there. And he tells me that some of my answers are alarming in a good way. And he validates my feelings about some of the answers and affirms some things in me. And this is where the scare started to happen. Every time I've met Andre, every time I went to reach out to shake his hand, he denied my hand and gave me a hug. And I probably can count on one hand how many hugs I've ever gotten from my dad. Probably like 3. And they were me forcing the hug. So every time he met me, he hugged. He always said, I love you. So these worlds were different now for me because I wasn't used to it. And I wasn't used to it at my age. So now, some weeks go by, we meet again, and we discuss a little bit, but I started getting really, really scared. And I started getting really, really guarded. And I literally started to push him away. And, I didn't answer the calls as much. He would ask me, like, hey, can we meet? Is everything okay? And I remember telling Andre one night, I had a bad argument with my wife. We made up from it, but I had a bad argument. And I was like, Andre, like, I've come to this place before where I felt depressed, but I was like, I don't want to live right now. And I was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm living right now because of my daughter. And I was like, it's not because of me. I don't think I have anything to offer the world. I don't think the world's offering me anything, and I don't want to live anymore. And he called me immediately, and I did not pick up. I did not pick up because I was just so guarded, thinking like, what does this man want from me? Why is he being this nice to me? Why is he showing so much love? I didn't pick up, and he texted back, and he was like, hey, if you want, I'll come and get you. We can take a ride. We can talk. There's no judgment, all of that stuff. And, I kept denying his help. As weeks and months went by, I stopped answering the calls. I stopped going to his church to visit when I can, and I completely tried to block him out. And after I was looking at a podcast interview with Tim Ross, and it was Michael Todd, and he said something that it struck me harder than I thought it was going to strike me. And he said, sometimes God puts people in your lives who don't look like you. And they're not people at first that you would choose them to be your preference. Because, I'm thinking, I'm a black man. Maybe it's going to be this 6'5" black man coming to like save me and all this stuff. And he's like, no, Andre's 5'11". He's a Caucasian skinny man that loves the Lord and loves to play a guitar. And he said, when he said that, immediately I was like, I got to reach back out to Andre. Lo and behold, my wife was watching it at the same time with me. And when she saw that part, when we discussed some people we wanted to reach out to, she was like, Drew, you might have to reach back out to Andre. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So I get the text ready, and I'm like, what should I say? Because it's been a while. I ran away. My own trauma made me run. I was used to people rejecting me, or used to people coming in my life and then running away as soon as they found out that I wasn't perfect and stuff like that. So I got the text ready. I sent the text to Andre. Andre, I'm sorry. I want to ask for your forgiveness. I was completely wrong for just running away and things like that. And his response made me cry. He said, Drew, I love you. I felt that you wanted to have time away, so I wanted to respect that. But just know that I love you and I'm here for you. And I cried because I was like, he could. This was his time to be like, you know what, I'm done. But he didn't. So he was like, let's schedule the meetup. So we scheduled a meetup. I met with Andre last Friday. The day to meet him, I'm usually not nervous of meeting people usually, but I was nervous. I'm shaking. I don't know what could happen. So I get there mad early. I'm drinking some hot tea to calm me down. And Andre comes in smiling. The Andre he is, he's talking, comes in, and I reach out to shake his hand. And as I reach out to shake his hand, he hugs me and he holds me. And it made me realize that as a man, we don't realize how much we long for connection from other men, and we don't realize how much we need the connection with other men. And we sit down, and he's like, Drew, just share your heart. There's no judgment. Share whatever you want to share. And, I shared. I was scared. I felt my trauma kick in. I felt that he could leave me like my dad did. He could leave me like anybody else did. And he said something that changed my life so much. He was like, I didn't choose to be here for you because of anything you've done or anything you could do. I just wanted to be here for you. And he said, Drew, if God accepts you the way that he does, what would I be, or who would I be not to accept you in the same manner? And the conversation, it went great. And we got back to being on good terms, and we got back to starting in 2 weeks having weekly meetings. And it was so important for me to be accountable and to be, in this with him because of my own insecurities and stuff like that. And I'm telling him about mine. And he's like, Drew, I have insecurities. I don't feel confident all the time. I feel overwhelmed at times. And it just made me feel so blessed. And this is part of why I'm doing what I'm doing. To give men an outlet, to give men another thought about life in case they wanted to commit suicide, or if they're in depression, to give them another way, another voice to tell you that you matter as a man, you matter as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as an uncle. And it's time for us to heal.